What in the world is that? Hello everyone, and welcome to this special Valentine's Day challenge that Daisy Pert invited me to. I'm going to be on a team with either Daisy, E, or Mary, perhaps, and we will be trying to survive together for as long as possible until the final challenge, where we will battle the other team and hopefully emerge victorious. So, the challenge will be starting shortly. I'm very scared. Suddenly, we were teleported all over the place, and it did not go very well. We were supposed to end up in different places really far away from each other and then find our teammate as the first person that we ran into, but as you can see, it didn't really go all that well. I really just wanted to be teleported out of the acacia biome, but we kept getting teleported to different places around the acacia biome where I did not want to be. Mary just took off, ran away from us, became wild. Goodbye, Mary. And then, as you can see, we were teleported right in front of a flock of creepers. So we all, it went off. It started off real smooth. Everything was going great. And yeah, Mary decided to go on over there and mess with the creepers, so then it was even more scary. And then E and I thought that we could maybe punch the creepers and be a hero. And then they exploded on me. But I got gunpowder. And I decided to stash it away in my inventory and not let anybody know that I had picked it up in case it became useful later, but it never did, so. Then Mary died. But at last, I was finally teleported to somewhere where I was alone, and decided that this was going to be my home forever. Alright, now the challenge has started. I am going to collect as many materials as I can, and then hopefully at some point I'll find my teammate. However, almost before I could finish chopping down my first tree, I saw something out of the corner of my eye. It was E, and we were stuck together now. So we headed down, just dug a random hole, and started looking for iron or coal or any resources that we could use in the early game. We did not find very much iron or coal, however, we did find something else. A lovely little spawner. I was very excited for the free XP, although we never actually got to use it. We didn't get any good loot from that, really, either. But we were able to kill some zombies. And that's about it. Look at us, already working together. It was off to a great start. And then we went up to see if it was daytime, to see if we could get food and wood, but it was actually nighttime, so we decided to keep mining for the time being. And we didn't find anything, there was nothing interesting down there, so, yeah, I eventually ran out of wood and food, and had no materials to continue mining. So eventually we decided to emerge and maybe go exploring for the nearest village. I also made sure to get some pork chops, which I gave some of them to E, and then off we went on an epic journey in order to look for the village. And there it was. We found it just by following the border a little ways. And we ran quickly to loot it before anyone else could, not knowing that it had already been looted, and the only good thing that it had was hay bales. and Daisy took those already, so yeah. Wow, look at this beautiful village. We could have killed the iron golem on second thought. I didn't actually think of it at the time, but it would have gotten us some iron. Oh, and there were melons. I also stole like 4 brewing stands for some reason, and I don't know why, because we never brewed anything or had the materials to brew anything. There were a couple empty pieces of paper. And then we found this hole, and it was very scary, and I thought we should leave, but E wanted to explore it. I didn't like that idea very much, and my inventory was full. I reminded E that we have Big Scary Hole at home, so we decided to head back and stop looking for more loot by the terrible village. So I dropped off a bunch of my actually junk from the village into a large chest, not knowing that my watermelons were actually in danger. I should have used them as daisy bait, but I forgot. Well, we were just hanging out when this traitor and some llamas showed up and attacked E for no reason. I definitely don't know the reason at all. So we decided to attack the llamas and save E's life. Get some free leather and some leads. The guy wasn't too happy about that. Now, I made the mistake. I thought that Daisy and Mary had already found each other by this point. It had been a while. Me and E had been together for a long time, so I kind of gave the hint that we were together and we had just murdered some llamas. Giving away our position as teammates. And then we went down in the scary cave and got attacked by a lot of things, but I did get a carrot. So that's nice. I got really excited, but E didn't seem to care that much. We were just beginning to explore the caves when I saw a suspicious name tag in the distance. And even though it was really far away, I just started yelling intruder across the cave and forgot to keep an eye on E. And when I turned around, E was getting attacked by skeletons. And I forgot that shield is a thing that I should use sometimes, and thought that I was trying to protect E, but I only ended up dying myself. And then when I went back down into the cave, the skeletons still hated me, and they were everywhere, and I couldn't escape them. But fortunately E was there, and fought them off bravely, as he had done the last time. Didn't need my help. The next time I see a name tag, I hope I won't die as quickly. But don't worry, Mary also died to a zombie, so it's fine. And then look at this teamwork. Look at us. We just fight zombies together and eat food. Beautiful. So then we ventured further into the caves, coming across a lot of iron. More iron than we would probably ever need for this one session, and a bunch of diamonds. The deeper we went down into the cave, the more diamonds we kept stumbling across. And then eventually we came across a mine shaft, and decided to go explore it. As we were smelting our iron peacefully, E tried to murder me with a orange bed, and I got really scared that it was lava. So then we went into the mine shaft. It was very scary. There were creepers, skeletons. We kept looking out for cave spiders, but I don't think there were any, thankfully. I would not have lasted very long if there were cave spiders. Oh yeah, we also got a disc, because this one skeleton shot creepers. So, I've never actually seen that happen before. Or succeeded in getting a disc that way. Of course, the loot was trash, and we never actually found anything good in the mine shaft. There weren't even diamonds. There was barely iron. And the one chest that we did find pretty much just had one piece of bread in it. Yeah, there's the one piece of bread. I did take the minecart thinking I could put TNT in it, but it was actually just the chest, I guess, can't be separated out. And I never actually made any TNT. Mary apparently was up on the surface happily gardening while we were in actual danger. And that reminded me that we needed to go up to the surface and build our base. Maybe start some crops. And then this random zombie just fell out of the sky. Fell out of the ceiling and almost killed me. But E, thankfully, was able to fight it off, and I didn't die. And then, at last, fresh air, onto the surface we went. Finally ready to build our home. Oh, but first we have to deal with the rude neighbors. These pillagers showed up for no reason. I think E was crafting or AFK or something, so I bravely fought them off by myself. Bravely fought them off. Definitely didn't just back away slowly until they hurt each other. Yeah. And they dropped so many crossbows, and that's ironic because I've never actually used a crossbow before. Keep that in mind. I did decide to keep a crossbow, and it was a humongous mistake. Oh, and they dropped an ominous bottle, which at the time I had no idea what I was going to do with an ominous bottle. Or a crossbow. But it had some durability. And then E came to see what was going on, but I had already dealt with the issue. And now a time-lapse of our wonderful home that we built together, using only the blocks that we had gotten from the mine. It happened to not be very flammable, because it was only made out of cobblestone and deep slate. Listen to that ASMR. We tried to build it as quickly as possible so we could do other things, and tried to build it together as much as we could. Definitely made it unique. Next I added some decorations, a lovely dripstone fence to welcome the neighbors. And the neighbors came. It wasn't Daisy and Mary, it was just more pillagers. And this time E did help me fight them off very easily with a diamond sword. And then got the advancement, and then I went back to decorating, adding some lovely red flowers and a couple of trapdoors, you know, just to make the neighbors feel at ease. And then I thought that it would be funny to get the tactical fishing achievement right before we went to the Nether, but as I was trying and failing to find a fish, I did spot something else instead. Daisy and Mary running along the horizon. I ducked under the water to hide like a coward and alerted E, and then I shot off an arrow. I don't know why, I think I was trying to scare them, but they were long gone. They were almost back home by now. But boy did it scare me. I thought they had seen me, but I wasn't sure, so I continued to fail to try and catch a fish, and eventually gave up because I was drowning. I was so scared that they already knew where our home was, so I kept sneaking around, trying to spot them. I tried to show E where I'd last seen them, grabbing some lava for defense, and then leading E back to the location where I saw those criminals. I was very scared. And then it was time to go to the Nether, lighting the portal, staring at it, and then in we went, hoping that the achievement would scare them just enough. Of course, it was the absolute worst biome. I heard a ghast. I didn't really feel like sticking around. And that was never the plan in the first place. The reactions popped up in chat, just what we were hoping for. Just a little bit of fear goes a long way. I then told E that I was gonna go find some animals for food. With my new flint and steel, I couldn't wait to set them on fire and get cooked meat without the added effort. So away I went, practicing my lovely aim, and finally, after multiple tries, managed to catch a single sheep on fire. I then tested my PvP on some cows, you know, just to prepare for the final battle. And I, you know, failed. But don't worry, I'm sure that we'll do great during the final fight, considering that I can't even hit a cow. Yeah. I also didn't get very much food, and the cows kept running towards the water before I could even hit them. Yeah. So then I headed back, but before I made it back to the house, I think I was actually just wandering around aimlessly, I decided to climb up this hill that I saw, hoping that maybe there were some live animals still up top. And I found a black sheep, which I instantly murdered. And then I saw name tags. I had found them. I had found their hideout. Or something. I didn't really know what to expect. I just crept forward silently, wondering what they were doing this close to our base. Sneaking up ever so slowly, I saw them spying on our house. And I came to realize that they've probably been spying for a long time. I sent a warning shot, hoping to hit them, but I missed. And then I ran away screaming down the hill as they pursued me. Yeah, not my proudest moment either. I got really scared. I shouldn't have left E. But I started screaming and running back home. I had to warn E that they'd been watching us this entire time. And that they were probably going to attack us with a moment's notice. I also had to warn E about the dog I had seen, which was probably bad news for us. But I only saw one puppy, so I assume we're gonna be fine. And then it was time to prepare for the battle. I decided that we should probably go to the village because I have an ominous bottle. And we could start a raid. We grabbed everything we had that was valuable, or that we didn't want them getting their hands on. And then E hatched a chicken. Oh yeah, this is the moment where I took all of the arrows. We have a pet chicken, don't hurt us, I cried, hoping that was enough to hold Mary and Daisy back, just long enough for us to escape. I dumped out my water and grabbed lava, and then ran back towards the house. I don't really know why we punched the grass, I think it was a diversion. We must go to the village, I told E. It was time. The violence was going to start at any moment, and we didn't want to be cornered in our house, with Daisy and Mary bearing down on us from their suspicious hill. So we got away unnoticed and ran towards the village, hoping that maybe the raid would distract them long enough for us to get the upper hand. Just as we made it to the village, Daisy informed us that the timer was now up and violence was ready to start. We were very scared. Daisy and Mary had obviously been scheming. Our original plan was to hide on top of one of the house roofs and start start the raid when we saw them come near, but I didn't really want to be that mean. I didn't really want the raid to spawn on top of them before we had a chance to PvP, as PvP was kind of the point, so we retreated to the nearest hill. Everything the light touches is our kingdom, I told E, as we waited patiently for Daisy and Mary to arrive. I wasn't even sure if they'd be able to find us, to be honest, but I hoped that they would. I told E that we were going to run as soon as I started the raid, so we didn't die to our own trap. If you want to fight, come fight on our hill, I told Daisy and Mary, but they refused. So I spawn-proofed the area for a little while, using buttons. Also, E thought it was a good idea to pillar up, so I decided to help E collect dirt. I also told E that I'd offer a nice, safe water bucket landing, but all I had was lava. Keep in mind that E doesn't have any arrows or any bucket at this point, so then I suggested a coin flip, and whoever wins the coin flip, we have to fight on their hill. And then I signed E up to decide whether we were going heads or tails, but that was a lot of pressure. Fortunately, Mary chose tails, and it landed on heads, so we got our happy little battle on our hill. I couldn't wait to see what became of the raid, but I was very scared. I could barely even form cohesive thoughts. As much as we thought we were prepared, Daisy and Mary were still very scary, and I was not very confident that we would be able to win against them. So I decided to say my goodbyes to E while we still had the chance, before they ever arrived. Yes, may we win, even though we are scared of them. And then I saw them, and I got really nervous, like even more so than I was before. I asked E if I should do it, and then I drank the bottle, and it didn't work. Or I wasn't sure if it had worked. I've never started a raid with the ominous bottle before. I decided I might want to get closer to the village, so I started running in that direction, but E ran in the opposite direction and I didn't really want to split us up. I had to get really, really close to the village and finally the raid started, but then I fell in a hole, so not my proudest moment. I started to panic. I didn't want to be stuck in here with a raid going on, but I was more worried about Daisy and Mary approaching our location. Finally, out of that hole, we ran to an open area, and then we simply waited until we saw them, waving aggressively, saying hello just to be nice. This was it, the final battle. Whoever emerges victorious is the ultimate teammates. Of course, the dogs were going to be a slight issue, so I pillared up and got my lava ready in preparation. And then I failed to shoot every arrow. Every single arrow missed, and I was not able to lure the dogs over so that I could burn them with lava. So I decided on a more direct approach, racing in, dropping the lava, and oh yeah, my lava, and then I went back to get the lava without burning. I failed several times to get the lava back, but eventually it worked. And then I made the mistake of separating from E in hopes that I could take out some more dogs. There were quite a few, and I wasn't really sure how to get them to be aggressive. Daisy blocked the one shot that I could have hit, and I started running, only for Mary to attack all of a sudden, and I panicked. thinking I could fight with my diamond axe, but I took fall damage and died immediately. My one regret was not dying, but leaving E to fend for himself against those monsters. I tried to encourage E, knowing full well that he was outnumbered by 2 people and many dogs. And also Mary picked up my lava, so that wasn't good. Then I ran towards the scene of the crime, and my eyes deceived me. I thought I saw Mary and Daisy running away from E, but it turns out that Mary is just really slow. And I actually saw E running from Daisy, and also Mary. Why are you running? I asked in the chat before realizing that E was the one running away. I followed behind, pretending to be in spectator, trying to cheer E on, but I knew that it was impossible. And then I saw the death message, and I screamed no in the chat, and I ran to where I'd last seen my teammate. I managed to pick up a few last items that once belonged to E, and I stood in the spot where he must have died. We had failed. All I had left of him was some chicken and some armor and a couple of saplings. I didn't even have the carrot anymore. And then we decided to go to Mary and Daisy's house because I hadn't seen it before, and sure enough, there it was, nestled right in the mountain next to our house. They'd been spying on us the whole time. This whole time I thought we'd been alone, doing our own thing, that they were never even around, but they were living right next to us, and we never even saw their house. It's actually surprising I didn't see them more, as they ran back and forth getting dogs. And then we went back to spawn where I got attacked by an enderman. So, yeah, nothing to see here. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this random video challenge for Valentine's Day, even though it's very late because I've been sick. If you would like to see Daisy and Mary spy on us for like an entire hour, you could go and watch Daisy's perspective and see their reaction to all of the things that we did. And yeah, I will see you in the next video. Bye!